All right, here's another story out of The Independent, and obviously you've heard us talk a lot about ancient civilizations, and it's one of my favorite subjects. I just got back from the reshot structure in Mauritania documentary coming soon. 30 hours of footage, lots to edit. It'll come as soon as we possibly can bring it to you, because I got to post videos every day. But anyway, this is a story that I found through Graham Hancock. He was sharing it around, and it's really frustrating to see this kind of stuff continuously happen because people have so much disregard for history, especially important history that really tells us a story that too many are not willing to listen to. Anyway, as this article says, Machu Picchu, fury over plans for new multi-billion-pound airport next to ancient Inca citadel. Archaeologists and historians fear development will cause irreparable damage to World Heritage Site surrounding Sacred Valley. And Machu Picchu is just so absolutely incredible. The stonework is, I don't know of very many places in the world that have such intricate, beautiful stonework. It is a truly incredible place, and one of those places that the more we ignore, the less we learn. We need to understand the stonework, look at it, and understand that this wasn't all done at the same time. There's a difference between this stone wall, obviously, and this stone wall. And obviously, like I just showed, this stone wall. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, there's a difference between this beautiful, beautiful stonework of, puzzle pieces, essentially, and then you see more like this, and almost like dimples in the stone like we see in parts of Egypt as well, like the Valley Temple, etc., and the House of Osiris. But then you see on the top there, this stonework, which clearly doesn't fit. Obviously, the Incas found the place, as they even admit. They found the place and built on top of an already existing place that is far more ancient and far more technologically advanced. But we could go over this all day, and I'll continue to get into this further in the video. Big difference between the two kinds of architecture. But anyway, let's get into the story. As it goes into the development of a multi-billion-dollar airport that will fly tourists directly to Machu Picchu has sparked outrage among historians, archaeologists, and local people. Bulldozers have already begun clearing land for the airport in Chinchero, a well-preserved Inca city about 3,800 meters above sea level that is the gateway to Sacred Valley, or to the Sacred Valley in Peru. The valley provided maize and other crops to Incan rulers, and several emperors built their private estates there. Incan terraces still cover the hillsides around Chinchero and are used by local farmers. Those protesting against the airport fear it will cause structural damage to ancient ruins and environmental degradation across a large swath of the Sacred Valley, not just the famed citadel of Machu Picchu itself. And I quote, "The airport planned to be built in Chinchero, Cusco, endangers the conservation of one of the most important historical and archaeological sites in the world," wrote Natalia Majlouf, a Peruvian art historian at Cambridge University, who organized a petition against the development. She added that the airport will affect the integrity of a complex Inca landscape and will cause irreparable damage due to noise, traffic, and uncontrolled urbanization. Nearly 6,000 people have signed the petition, which calls on Martin Vizcarra, the president of Peru, to reconsider the project. Currently, most visitors to Machu Picchu arrive at Cusco Airport 50 miles southeast of the ruins and then either catch a train or bus to embark on the 4-day Inca Trail to reach the site. Oh, how inconvenient. I have to kind of ride a train a little bit for 50 miles to get to a beautiful site. Terrible. Anyway, carrying on. The airport has only one runway and is limited to handling stopover flights from Peru's capital, Lima, and nearby cities such as La Paz, Bolivia. But the new airport in Chinchero will be open to larger planes on international routes across Latin America and the US. The project was first announced in 2012 by Peru's former president, Ollanta Humala, and the government plans to complete the airport by 2023. At the time, Mr. Humala said the government would invest $460 million or 350 million pounds in the project, not including compensation to the farming communities whose land will be seized. Ridiculous. More attacks on private property. Announcing the project 7 years ago, he said, "The new airport will not only allow more tourists to come, but will also generate more jobs and will permit modernization and added value for the surrounding communities." But critics say the airport will bring noise and air pollution to the area and put a strain on limited water sources in the region. They have also expressed concerns that planes landing and taking off from the airport would need to pass low over the nearby Ollantaytambo Archaeological Park. They say this could cause structural damage to the Inca ruins in the park. More than 1.5 million tourists visited Machu Picchu in 2018, which is almost double the limit recommended by UNESCO. In 2017, UNESCO threatened to put the citadel on its list of World Heritage Sites in danger, owing to the huge strain tourism put on the fragile ruins and local ecology. Already, the Peruvian government has introduced a number of measures to curb overcrowding, including introducing the strict time slots for visitors and one-way circuits around the ruins. Justin Francis, chief executive of sustainable travel company Responsible Travel, told The Telegraph that he was worried about the impact the new airport and potential increase in visitor numbers would have on Machu Picchu. And I quote, "I thought I'd seen it all," he said. "When we look back at what went wrong with tourism, this will be the story that sums it all up." Here, our world view that tourism growth is infinite rams up against the fact that every destination has a finite capacity, and more so 15th century Inca hilltop citadel. Well, of course, and again, this place is so incredibly intricate, so incredibly beautiful, something that everyone should visit. But at the same time, we also have to understand that with such capacities, we have to be careful about what we do to these ancient sites. Sure, they were built to withstand thousands of years, and some people would say that Machu Picchu is closer to, 12,000 years old in reality against mainstream beliefs. But we also have to remember that these massive modern machines can risk the entire site with, as they mentioned, these government land grabs. Of course, government says, yeah, we will, produce incredible things into the economy by being the economy and kicking out all those people that work hard for a living. For example, the farmers, and this massive land grab that we're seeing, which is absolutely wrong on so many levels. And they think that they're going to come in and make everything better. Well, we saw what happened recently on a place that's natural, like Mount Everest. Countless people dying because there's lineups to get to the peak to take a selfie. It's no longer, one of those things that's newsworthy that someone climbed Mount Everest. It's happening constantly, all day, every day. And these sites like Machu Picchu are far more fragile than a mountain. And the mountain has been covered in garbage and all sorts of stuff in recent years. It's terrible. But again, Machu Picchu is one of the most incredible sites on the planet and gives us kind of a view into ancient civilizations that most places cannot give us, especially since, unfortunately, the Spanish, in conquering the Americas, destroyed almost every temple and destroyed pyramids and destroyed almost all the writing. The Incas, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Olmecs especially, when they found this new world and considered it satanic. So they just destroyed everything they saw. And it's such a sad story. And now in modern times, we're seeing something that it really concerns me to see governments coming around the area putting just out of the idea of convenience. It's always a matter of convenience. We can get more people to Machu Picchu, which is already way overloaded, by putting an airport close by and causing massive traffic and causing vibrations that could seriously affect a lot of these structures and cause damage and destruction, and all so that more people could take selfies and we can make lots of money. Look, I'm someone that's all for people making lots of money, but the government stealing people's land, destroying their ability to make money, and then bringing in tons of tax money while people suffer and people are impoverished. It's just so wrong on every level. And look, Machu Picchu, like I said, is a window. And if we don't protect that window, we will destroy it before we get to the bottom of it. And I want to see people going to Machu Picchu and investigating the idea that there's earthquake damage in a lot of places in Machu Picchu that stands out greatly. And these walls were clearly built to withstand things like earthquakes. And yet there's stones on top that they claim were built at the same time that are very primitive in when you compare them. These stones on top that you can see it right here above this archway. You see these stones, obviously very primitive, and they somehow withstood the earthquake, but these massive stone blocks pulled apart. You could see some of the separation of the wall here. And of course, here, this is a great example. It pulled apart. And Brian Forrester on YouTube has done a lot of extensive research into this, breaking it down. So apparently this broke apart, this incredible, intricate stonework, but all this other kind of rubble stone stayed standing for all these thousands of years, or 1,000 years, as they say, like, or sometimes they say they'll stretch it to 2,000. It's just so wrong. What we've been told about ancient civilizations is so wrong. Look at that. Does that look like something that would withstand a massive earthquake, yet pull apart a building like we see here? So much evidence that there's intricate stonework that was done at Machu Picchu that we just do not understand as of yet. And when I see things risk the future of Machu Picchu, I get furious. The government isn't going to solve this problem. People will in large numbers. The government's causing this problem out of their incessant need for constant profit, in order to spend on useless nonsense that they prolong and make inefficient so that they can get more grants and more money. It's ridiculous. This stonework is absolutely beautiful, and we should not forget it, and we should explore it. But let's not overload an ancient site, take selfies, and show your grandma. I mean, this is an important place. There's nothing wrong with doing that, of course. I just mean like, oh, there's more earthquake damage here. I just mean that there's more to the site that needs to be discovered, and it's not just all about having fun and playing around. These places need to be investigated heavily and understood. More earthquake damage, separated stone. Yet other parts, you can't fit a razor blade in between them. Anyway, I'm ranting, but you get the point. They carved out these stones. I don't know where they got the technology from it. People always say that they use these tools that you look at. It's just absolutely absurd. They're obviously not the kind of tools that would be appropriate for someone like this unless they took like 500 years to build it. It's absurd. But again, incredible stonework here. Primitive stonework in the foreground. More evidence of a lost ancient civilization, if anything. And hopefully this petition gets out there and more people speak up about this, and it has nothing to do with UNESCO or anything like that. It's about government not seizing lands and damaging ancient sites around the world. It goes without saying that we should protect these places just like we should protect the pyramids, because we've seen in places like Cairo wasn't a super ancient city. Cairo has completely eroded on so many ancient sites around the Giza Plateau that's just so sickening and sad to see. They destroy statues, broke down buildings, took stones from other ancient structures to use in the foundation of their homes, and just trampled on these beautiful sites that we have no record of now, because Cairo just continued expanding in Egypt and ripped apart all these ancient lands. It's sad. Our history is important for our own futures, folks. So anyway, I will continuously go into this. Again, we do have our documentary on the reshot structure coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. It's going to take a little while, actually, to put it together. 30 hours of footage takes a long time to edit. So I'm going to do my best. It's really difficult. I've already posted a preview and everything. Stay tuned. Watch our channel, because we're getting shadow banned, and they're not showing most of our subscribers when we post. So anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. And until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth. be the change.
Like what you see here, OM, don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so heavily demonetized and censored by YouTube as these guys come in and flag all of our content as hate speech. The shadow banning is getting really bad, guys. Also, check our Bitcoin address right here on the screen or in the description below. We really appreciate it. And of course, check us out at the Red Pill Expo 2019. Of course, the great G. Edward Griffin and so many other incredible speakers will be there. Our link for that is below as well. And we cannot forget Mike Maloney's goldsilver.com, which you can also find in the description. One of the greatest market and monetary historians out there. We really encourage everyone to check that out. But until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.